Now just take a look at this. This is exactly what they say they want to build. Like, what are these supposed to be? Some kind of townhouse style, those townhousey looking things. And check out this gate right here. If they got a gate blocking you from even coming in, whatever's inside, you ain't gonna be able to see it. Am I losing my mind, or is this really a gate? Like, this is a full-on gated community. Even if they put a dry cleaner in here, nobody. Outside these gates can use it unless they actually live inside. I'm just saying, that's okay. But be real about it. Don't try to make it seem like it's for everybody when it's clearly not. Hey yo, it's your girl J9 Eve. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, share the video, and jump down into the comments. Tell me what you think about all this. Let's get into it. Do you really think these plans we're about to talk about are even possible? Is this a good move? Is the town, the village, the adults being played, or are they getting a treat? Also, I'm curious, how's Tiffany feeling about this whole thing? So, people from outside are rolling in, and now they want to develop stuff in Dalton. Tiffany girl, you could have been in on this if you hadn't been acting such a twerp. You missed out big time. Just imagine, another bag you let slip through your fingers. You could have been right here trying to rob these people. More folks coming in with more money for you to grab, but now you played yourself way too early. All right, let's listen up as this man comes through and shares some of the ideas they have for developing Dalton now that the whole Pope situation has changed the game. They got some moves, and I just hope they play their cards right.
Order of business. I am going to switch a little bit on the order of business because we do have a special guest presentation, so we want to make sure that we don't detain them much longer than necessary. There is a new business that has been proposed, that have been proposing ideas. They've come out and presented to Tea with Trustees, and they also are here today to present their business ideas to our community, as well as talk to our board about the ability for zoning to fit their needs over at 14700 Harvard. So I'm going to ask Evan, if you don't mind, you and your team come up and and present.
I'll look at you guys because we're all part of the community together. So it's nice to see everybody's face here today.
Yes.
And I'd first like to just give a big thank you to you, Mr. Mayor, and to your trustees, because since 2022, we have not been able to bring this business forward. The new developments bring in revenues, bring in capital investments, bring in anything or do anything until you cleaned house. So thank you and good job. We're happy to have you.
Don't kiss up too much. Oh my God.
I think we have a little bit of a photo and presentation we can put up, but this is about a 13-acre property that myself and some investors bought in 2022. That we had originally had planned to do truck parking, quite honestly, there. There's just a lot of intermodals nearby.
Look at that. They bought all this land and they were just going to do truck parking on it. Oh, but
Oh my God, I can't stand it when people do that fake nice stuff just to get what they want. Then once they have it, they ghost you like you don't exist. Like, come on. So here's the deal. We've got a little photo and presentation to show, but this is about a 13-acre property that me and some investors scooped up back in 2022. At first, the plan was honestly just truck parking because there's a lot of interstate nearby. Look at that. They bought all this land just to park trucks? Yeah, real glamorous. But a parking lot versus a full development resort style, it's basically the same thing, right? Only difference? The Pope's house is nearby, so it'll attract people and siphon them off. But after hearing the community's feedback, what they really need more than anything is mixed-income housing redevelopment, taking an eyesore and turning it into something beautiful, including daily needs retail. Now, what the heck is mixed-income housing? Like, when they say maybe food, childcare, stuff you need daily, maybe a dry cleaner, things you actually go to every day. Right now, the property's zoned M1, and we're here presenting more phases, which is good, showing the trustees the preliminary concepts, asking for a vote to get support to move this project forward. We've got some cool renderings too, but the big change is so far, nothing has happened on this land. What we want is to add rental housing and some for-sale housing, including mixed-use apartments with retail on the ground floor. Now, I gotta say, when people talk like that and just make stuff up, mixed-use apartments. Sir, what is a mixed-use apartment? Tell me. The plan includes an actual pool, a nice children's playground and play area, and a daycare and childcare facility. But here's the real talk. Even if they put those things in, they won't be open to kids from outside the community. You probably have to live there to use those facilities because if some Karen shows up, she'll be all, "You need to leave." Seriously, don't call it a community like it's for everybody. No, you're building a community. And this stuff is for the people living there. You're gonna have a little bit of everything to help service the community you create. This would be the first big project in over 20 years, probably worth millions. It'd be nice if they fixed up the stuff that's already there, you know? Turn those empty lots and rundown places into something useful. That hasn't happened, yet. And honestly, we'd all love to see some real revitalization come back to Dalton, especially for long-term ownership. We're gonna try to work with the administrations talking federal and state funding for veterans affairs, right? For former military folks. Anybody here got military in the room? Okay, cool. But honestly, I don't think this guy up here is being real with y'all. I gotta tell you why it's all disingenuous. See, DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion, is pretty much dead now. Veterans used to be a huge part of that, almost the biggest part. But now, that whole veterans affairs thing, gone. Poof. No more special treatment, no programs, no priority for vets getting jobs or housing. None of that. If you're a veteran and that's your reason for getting help or placement, forget it. That's history. This little guy talking all that talk. He knows exactly what's up. Thank you for your service. That's all you're gonna hear. Thanks, and that's it. The president might say vets deserve respect and gratitude, sure, but when it comes down to actually doing something, nah. DEI's dead, so that means vets lose that spot too. He can talk until he's blue in the face, but he knows there's no obligation here anymore. No rules, no DEI, no vets special treatment. It's gone. End of story. Okay, now moving on. So yeah, they're talking about making some of this new development accessible to veterans, but that's purely optional. They don't have to, because there's no more DEI forcing their hand. So don't buy the hype. Now, looking at the plans, you'll see there's talk of townhomes, apartments, different sizes for younger families, singles, whoever. Here's a shocker. They did a study and found self-storage units are 99% full. Why? Because a lot of people lost their places and are crashing with relatives. They don't have space at home, so their stuff goes into storage. That's why storage is packed. Real talk. And now check this out. This is what they say they want to build. What are these? Townhouse-style things, right? Look at this gate. A gate? Seriously? So if they've got a gate, whatever's behind it, you can't even walk in and see it. If they put a dry cleaner in here, nobody outside can use it unless you live inside. A gated community, y'all. You see that gate? Am I losing it? That's a gate. No outsiders allowed. Even if it's just a dry cleaner or some retail. If you don't live there, you ain't coming in. And you know what? That's fine. But at least be honest about it. Don't try to make it sound like it's for everybody. So now they're trying to make it seem like this development is for everybody around here. But let's be real. There aren't many spots left, and prices have probably shot up way too high for regular folks. They're asking to throw in some self-storage and a little bit of everything they think Dalton needs. But here's the kicker. They're also being real about the tough times right now. Federal funding is getting cut left and right. Interest rates way higher than before. And get this, the last time Dalton's zoning code got touched was like 30 years ago. 30 years. A lot has changed since then, right? So now they're asking the trustees to pass a resolution to fast-track this project, mixed-use planning, some support statements, basically so they can run to federal and state agencies and beg for more help and money to get this thing moving. They want approval for multifamily rental housing, retail on the ground floor, self-storage, for-sale townhomes, indoor condos, you name it. And then there's this random thing they found buried in the code that no one has looked at for 20 years. They want to switch from concrete to masonry for building. Why? Because concrete prices are through the roof. So they want to use different building materials, newer methods that have popped up in the last 30 years. Okay, hold up. This guy is throwing a lot out there. But what it really boils down to is this. They want to change the zoning so they can put housing and all this stuff there instead of just parking trucks and cars like they originally planned. That's the big ask. But also, this building material stuff sounds like they're planning to build these homes out of paper mache or something. Imagine you buy one of these fancy townhomes, and it's basically made out of paper. Then the HOA fees are going to be sky high, like $1 trillion a month. I don't like this at all. It's just giving off a scammy vibe. Like, as soon as they get the green light, they'll start building these places, but the people who live in Dalton, they won't even have access to them. Let's be honest. The people who live in Dalton, the guy up there is asking for permission to build these things that won't be for them. Not really. It's just another scheme. Permission to come in here and do all this? Yeah, but the people who actually live here, they won't have access to any of it. Nope, not a single bit. And once this gets approved, that's the green light for them to loosen up the rules even more all around town. Before you know it, Dalton's gonna be filled with all these fancy things, but the folks who've lived here all their lives, they won't be allowed to use any of it. Look, I don't trust these people selling dreams. I smell the scam right away. They want to raise the building. Heights to 4 or 5 stories because we're close to the train station. They talk about 1 parking spot per unit, but then they twist the numbers so they can jam in as many units as possible to make their project viable. Now they're asking for a 5-to-1 parking ratio, plus permission to use above-ground water tanks for water retention. Also, this project can actually make money. Sure, it'll create a tax base, new homes, retail spots, no liquor stores, they say, places for families and seniors. The renderings? Clean, first class, safe. They say, it's for Dalton residents to enjoy, and maybe even own or rent something nice, newer than the old 1970s junk. But here's the truth. This guy's throwing shade on the people he's supposed to be asking for support. He's out here saying how old the current homes are, acting like they're trash. Meanwhile, this new stuff, yeah, it's gonna be so new, most people around here won't even be able to afford it. They'll shut you out. Nope, you can't come in here. Now here's what real negotiation looks like. You want to build these townhomes and apartments? Fine. But if you want businesses, they don't belong behind this gate. Nope. Put your businesses outside the gate where the whole community can actually benefit. Bring jobs, money, resources to the people who live here, not just some gated little city siphoning everything from the outside. Don't come in here trying to build a perfect little bubble for yourselves while leaving everyone else outside. That's not how you build a community. So my deal would be, okay, you want to build this? Cool, but no businesses behind this wall. Keep those out front where the community can use them. No businesses outside? Nah, I mean no different businesses. Just the same stuff they planned for inside, but outside the gate. That's how I'd handle the negotiation if I was Super Mayor Mama. Yeah, I want to be Super Mayor Mama. Can I be Super Mayor Mama? Absolutely not. People out here cussing folks out left and right. So, the spot they're talking about? 14700 Harvard Street. It's near that CVS on the way to Riverdale, close to the train station. There's a big park nearby too, but if you look at it now, it's just an eyesore. You can't even see inside. Tumbleweeds taller than 6 or 7 feet just growing wild. I checked Google Maps because I wanted to see the actual land. Now look at this. Compared to the houses around it, that lot isn't even big enough for what they showed in those fancy renderings. Look at the distance between these houses. That building they're proposing would only cover like 10 houses. Wide, maybe less. That just doesn't add up. The way they're showing it, that design won't fit there at all. So, whatever they end up building, it's going to look nothing like what they showed you. Just know that going in. Now, about that mixed income stuff, they say it means housing for different types of people, like a teacher making $30K a year, or a firefighter making a bit more. It's about different income levels, not a Section 8 voucher program or anything like that. And don't think for a second they're going to build all this just to let in Section 8 folks paying like $75 a month. Nope, not happening. Why build a brand new place only to let people in who aren't going to take care of it? That's not how it works. If they wanted to do something like that, they'd fix up an old building, not build new. So yeah, no, that's not the plan. Yeah. So, Section 8 is different from mixed income. so it just means that it's accessible. T, this is not some luxury-only project where rents are thousands of dollars a month and nobody can actually live there. That's why I say it's not judged just on income. They're planning price points for various incomes, so it can be an accessible community. Need a studio with a certain budget? Got it. Need a 3-bedroom for a family? They're trying to cover that too. Different sizes, different price points. But here's the thing. They talk about affordable all the time, but don't give actual numbers. Affordable is so relative. For some folks, $20,500 a month sounds affordable, like it's a deal, especially if you're used to places like New York where $20,500 might get you a tiny closet with a pretend toilet in the corner, and you'd pay that gladly. So yeah, different families, different price points, but what that actually means for most people? Who knows? Now this site is zoned M1, which means industrial, right? So no giant factories, but truck parking and some retail could fit. Basically, it's an industrial zone in a residential neighborhood. What they want to do is switch it from M1 to a mixed-use zoning. Basically, a community within a community. I love that phrase, community within a community. I'm stealing that. You know someone's gonna steal that right now. Laughs. Yeah, it's mine now. Anyway, they've been working with the community for a few years. The zoning right now lets them put factories or truck parking there, which doesn't fit a residential area, so that rezoning is crucial to make this more livable. And yes, they're trying to get the zoning board up and running faster to educate the community about what each zoning means and how this can benefit everybody. Part of their ask is to get a resolution passed so they can move forward with planning. Why? Because federal agencies want to see that the community supports the project before they'll even consider funding it. There's less money available now, so agencies don't want to waste time on projects that won't get local approval. So basically, they want the green light to rezone this area so they can apply for federal and state funding to make this project happen. And I gotta say, these folks really know how to work the system. They're out here with all this knowledge about how to get government money, and it's all legal, but man, it's frustrating to watch. When asked if they'll try to get HUD funding, the answer was candid. Maybe, maybe not. The political climate has changed, and HUD's got a certain brand they're avoiding, so that might not be on the table right now. Bottom line, they're going broad with funding sources, trying to get whatever fits the changing landscape. At the end of the day, it's still a business. It has to make financial sense. The developer wants to build something high quality, something they can be proud of, a place they can bring their own kids to and say, yeah, I helped build that. All right, so this guy comes up and says, I'm bringing my group to Dawson to show support. My mother had a business here for years, and Mayor House is a wonderful mayor. I've got friends like Stan and Mr. Andrew Holmes. We got deep pockets ready to help Dalton. Deep pockets, huh? All right, hold on. How are your pockets doing, sir? You got deep pockets or your friends got deep pockets? Because you just keep saying, my friends got deep pockets. What about you? Are you just the guy who talks and introduces your friend as the one with deep pockets? That's all you are? Man, I'm gonna tell your friend exactly how. You introduced him. Hey, you're just the friend with deep pockets, no respect. Laughs. It's wild. So he's basically saying, I want to lend my support. Well, my friend's support, because he's the one who works hard and has the money. Me? I just got time to talk. I'm like, okay, I see how it is. Anyway, then they're like, all right, let's do a group vote. All in favor say yes. And everyone's like, yes, yes, yes. No opposition. Honestly, I couldn't hear a single no. So I guess we got some support. Man, it's just hilarious. It's like the vultures have arrived circling because of the Pope's residence. Everybody wants in, wants to be close, wants a piece of the action, and you just know this whole thing's going to be gated off. Dalton, behave yourselves, because this is going to be a keep-out zone. But hey, Mama. Loves y'all, though. Yes, she do. Peace.